Should you leave your rib membrane on, off, or even scored? Which one provides better results? That's what we're testing today, so stick around, we're gonna jump right into it. All right, team, I have St. Louis style ribs here where I've got one scored that I did earlier. I've got one where I pulled off the membrane earlier, and I have a video on that I was doing earlier, so I'll show you what that looks like. And then I have one where the membrane's on. So 3 different tests that we're doing: membrane on, off, scored. I have an extra because we're cooking for some people later this afternoon. Mustard as a binder. Let's see if we can get this on there. And then we're going to be using my sweet red dirt rub today. And then we'll do the other side off camera, and then we'll get it fired up. Well, I fired up the Kamado Joe Big Joe, setting the temperature to 275. I used lumped charcoal from KJ, used 2 post oak wood chunks, buried it in the charcoal, used the slow roller accessory for that indirect cooking, used a foil pan with foil in it to catch the drippings, then put the grill grates on there. Now I got the 4 ribs on there marked with little flags of on, off, scored, and extra as I'm cooking for some family and friends later today. We're gonna be going for 3 hours total, 2 hours just direct smoke, and then once we get some good bark formation, I'll bring you back with a good spritz, and then we'll foil boat it to get that bark and speed up the cook that last hour. And then next time I see you after that, we'll be doing a final taste test to see, does it make a difference? All right, I have foil boated all 4 of the ribs, and we are just trying to speed up the cook all the while trying to keep that bark continuing to form. And as I continue to see that dry out, I'll do another spritz before the end of the cook, but it's looking great. All right, team, we have finished up this cook, and we've got some good bark formation. It's really simple. It's like a dry rib, which is essentially what we want to taste to see how this did. So what I'll do is I'll cut into this based on texture and look in the bottom here. This is the scored one. You can kind of see where I have marks scored and maybe where rub could get penetrated. This is on, traditional. Yeah, you can see it cut through a little bit just because of the cook. And then this is completely off. All right, so let's cut into this. All right, membrane off here. Let's see here. Membrane on. Scored. Let's talk about the results. At the end of the day, I don't think there's a difference between all 3 of them. I think for the backyard cook, it doesn't matter. But let's talk about my why behind that thought. So the first thing is I thought texture in all 3 of them when it comes to the rub, they were all cooked the same rub, the same temperature. There was one slab that was a little bit thinner compared to the other 2, so that could have played into this a little bit, which is the membrane completely off. But overall, I don't think it made a difference. Texture-wise, they all look the same. On the back end, you could see where I scored it, and the skin was kind of, you know, crinkling up. And then the one that had membrane on, it kind of had its own abrasion and kind of opened up, and then obviously membrane off. So if from a texture standpoint, if you don't like that texture and as you bite into it, then I can see why you'd want to take it off completely. Do I see the tenderness and juiciness reasoning to leave it on? I could see a little bit of the juiciness being a little bit more tender on the scored and also the rib membrane on, but not so much that I would say it makes a significant difference to give you my recommendation of like, yes, take it, leave it on. It's so much more tender. I could see just slightly I squeezed each rib to see if juices, but for the most part, they are all the same. But I could see where it's slightly more tender and juicy as I was slicing different ribs. So that's my analysis. Let me know in the comments what you think of this comparison, and if it was helpful to you. Did you have a different result when you've tested this out? Restaurants do this by nature, have to leave it on because of the amount that they put through, so it makes sense why they put it on. But for the backyard cook, I don't think you need it, unless you just personally just don't like the texture of biting into that and having that on there. So take the membrane off. I get that. So at the end of the day, I would love to know what you think and your experience as well. And I might need to do more ribs of each version to see if I get a little bit more scientific around that. And if you have ideas around that, let me know. But otherwise, I don't think it really makes a difference. And if you want to learn how to remove the membrane, if that's something you enjoy doing, which I've been team membrane for the most part, I have a video up here showing you how to remove the membrane and also showing you different tools on how to remove the membrane that might be helpful to you as well. So from my backyard to yours, less hate, more love, good barbecue. Until next time.